Will Castle, Scott Wilson, Bob Alvis, revolutionaries in sports talk on YouTube. The Chew on This segment of the Sports Buffet podcast recorded Thursday, January the 5th, as we talked about college football, the bowl games, what's coming ahead, and more. And plus, Will Castle is going to blow your mind with a new overtime system, folks, for football. Chew on This on the Sports Buffet podcast. Bob Alvis, Scott Wilson, Will Castle, chewing on some college football. What should we talk about? How about that Sugar Bowl? Virginia Tech and Michigan.
We have to talk about that?
Just for a minute. Was it a catch?
See, I'm on record as saying no, and people surprised.
For the record, people, that was a hokey admitting it was not a catch. Learn from that.
And he lives in Virginia.
Yeah.
There was a play earlier in the game where J-Ron Hosley had an interception that was called back. It was reversed. It was the exact same thing as Cole. So once I saw the first replay on Cole, I said, okay, they're reversing it. I didn't get excited at all. I knew that wasn't going to count.
Scott Wilson is being put into witness protection as Bertrand Van Munster.
I can be the producer of The Amazing Race?
Here's the thing. I didn't get to see a lot of the game because I was occupied elsewhere. But from everything I've heard, and I have recorded the game, and I actually do intend to go back and watch it. From everything I have heard, you can't blame that one play for the reason you lost.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
You did that, you deserve it.
Here's what lost the game for Tech. Bad play calling. They were gashing Michigan with throws down the field in the first half. Just completely went away from it in the second half. Just tried to run the ball. Couldn't run the ball at all.
Why? What were they up? Were they up?
They were down.
Okay.
Special teams, execution. The fake punt decision by Beamer was just ridiculously bad.
Again, let me interrupt with a question.
Yes.
Are these special teams? I would say the special teams aren't very special in Blacksburg right now. And it used to be, the term Beamer ball. I think there's even a merchandise line out probably for it.
Yes, there is.
Did Beamer? Because I heard a lot of people, were having Beamer come teach them how he did special teams. Did Beamer, in your opinion, teach the special teams too well to everybody else, or are they not focusing on it as much as they did because they're Virginia Tech, they're a top-ranked program now, and, we don't need to focus on special teams as much as we once did?
I think that last part is probably the best.
I heard that second part, what you said.
Because I think what happens to them, and I see this all the time, and it's happened in the Michigan game, is when they try to go after a kick, they rough the punter. And it just kills them. I mean, that was a huge penalty in this game. And so my opinion is stop rushing. You got good returners.
I will say I've never rushed a punter. But it seems, when your momentum is trying to block that football, it is awful hard sometimes to stop.
Yeah, they coach you.
I know, but I'm not excusing penalties for hitting a punter. But I think it's awful hard on a block. And let's be honest, too. A lot of the times now in pro and college, you see a lot more setting up for returns, I think, than you do jailbreaks of bringing the pressure.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I think in general you don't see as many block kicks as you.
What was really irritating is I went on Sheet Book the next day, and every one of the mothers posted that same stupid picture of him holding the ball and then doing the diagram of holding the ball, space. I'm like,
right.
That's before he hit the ground.
Yeah, you can't freeze frame.
and there's like space. I'm like, this is why I hate people, because they're stupid. The ball's got to hit the ground first. That's why they called it an incomplete pass. Idiots.
It's amazing we get Will Castle on the podcast, folks, when he hates people. And last time I checked, Scott Wilson and I... Kyle, are you a person over there? Right. We are people. But anyway.
Just as an overall on the bowl game, I think what I would say is Virginia Tech outplayed Michigan and blew the game.
Okay. We asked this question to you earlier today. Should there be some heads rolling on the coaching staff?
I think they sort of fired Steinspring last year, and they probably should have gone ahead and shown him the door. I would probably give Shane Beamer the offensive coordinator job.
Really?
Because he's probably going to be the next head coach.
Has he been he has not been a coordinator in any...
I think he's coached either quarterbacks or one of a position.
But that's not the same thing as being a coordinator.
Right.
He has not been a coordinator on the college level.
Right.
Who is the recruiting coordinator at Tech nowadays, by the way? Is it Shane Beamer?
Yeah.
It's either him or Kavanaugh.
No, Kavanaugh's
I thought
no longer.
Beamer, I thought when
on the
Shane
staff.
got hired, that was like his first job was being.
Because he was a big-time recruiter for Spurrier.
Right.
He got Jadeveon Clowney.
Off subject, by the way. Did you hear Mike Rowe might be the next offensive coordinator in Alabama?
No, I did not. I didn't know they needed
Apparently
that.
people don't read my Twitter account. Yes, Mike Rowe. Mike Rowe is the rumored offensive coordinator at Alabama.
A little harshness in that.
No, none whatsoever. Bitter. Party of one. I'm still mad. The Seahawks. But it was Mike Rowe, and there was somebody else that was a former guy, and I cannot remember who it was.
Someone who had a sex change?
Check the Sports Buffet Twitter, by the way, people. No, it was another guy that has some fame to him, who was going to be an offensive coordinator. It might have been Schottenheimer. Oh, it was Schottenheimer. Is a rumor offensive coordinator at Florida. And I'm not talking about Marty. I'm talking about Brian. He went to Florida. There's the connection. Mike Rowe is actually a quarterback's coach somewhere right now. That's not. I think it's not Louisville, but it's somewhere. It's somewhere with a reputable program. It's not Seton Hall or anything like that. They don't have football. But anyway, Virginia Tech, did they deserve to be in that game? I don't mean competitiveness-wise, but should Michigan and Virginia Tech have been in the Sugar Bowl?
I don't have an issue with it.
Should Virginia Tech and Michigan have been in the Sugar Bowl? Will Castle.
When they
get to
first
beat John McLaughlin there for a moment.
when they first made the announcement, I'm like, huh? Just the fact that the ACC is not that strong a football conference, and
Clemson.
Here's the thing with Clemson.
Yes, West Virginia just scored again. Pat White is doing cartwheels somewhere.
Clemson
Celebration.
has as much talent as anybody, and for them to play that poorly is serious reflection on their coaching.
The funny thing is, West Virginia probably has outscored Clemson's basketball team in some of those games with what they threw up last night. What Brad Bonwell?
Brownell.
Yes, him too. Of what he's thrown up in terms of points this year with the basketball.
Mike Rowe is the wideouts coach at Alabama right now.
Well, then, promotion.
At first thing I said no, but then we're talking about it.
Are we talking about Mike Rowe or
No,
the Sugar Bowl?
Wait,
okay.
Sugar. First thought, like, seriously? ACC has two teams in the BCS? Bullshit. And then it's like, no, actually it makes some sense. So.
Well, Van Pelt and Russillo were talking today on the SVP show, Thursday, January 5th, 2012, about the bowl system being redone at some point to where they didn't use the P word, but it's a situation to where, yes, the colleges and the presidents and everybody control this a little bit, but let's acknowledge who the real ruler of the roost is. TV.
Yes.
And, if you don't have the TV dollars...
Espen.
Right. I'm fine with the +1. I don't really need the whole playoff, to be honest with you. Would it be nice? Sure. +1's all I need.
But here's the problem. All right. This year, who's your +1 exactly?
The two teams that played in the Fiesta Bowl.
Yes.
Stanford and Oklahoma State.
Yes.
Versus
LSU or Alabama.
Well, it would be Stanford against LSU and Alabama against Oklahoma State.
See, I'm not a big fan of Alabama and LSU replaying. It's not necessarily I'm not in favor of the rematch, but when Alabama doesn't even get into the SEC title game, and
I think
really had nothing to. I'm not waving the flag for Oklahoma State either, but I just don't like the fact of Alabama was not going to be hurt at all that last week because they were idle. That's what I don't like.
But here's the thing: if one of those teams below them had 0 losses, then I think you've got an absolutely good case. But when you have 1 loss, everyone else has 1 loss, and your 1 loss is to the number 1 team, I think you deserve to be in there, no matter what team you are.
Other bowl thoughts so far as we are recording this with
watched a whole lot of bowls.
4 bowl games left. What I love is the fact of the last bowl game before the national championship is the highly anticipated I don't know what the hell the name of the bowl game is.
I think it's GoDaddy.com.
Northern Illinois and Arkansas State. Not that I was trying to ignore you, but I was just making the point that Northern Illinois and Arkansas State are playing before the national championship.
I don't understand that. You tell me you could not figure out a different time to play that game before December 31st? Child, please.
Well, and the Cotton Bowl's smart, and I don't have a big problem with that because it's Cotton Bowl. It's been around for a while. But then on Saturday...
That being said, the Cotton Bowl should be played before any of the BCS games.
Agree.
Yeah, the BCS games should all be the last.
But I don't have a problem. It's the Cotton Bowl. I mean, it's not like we're playing the GoDaddy.com Bowl or the vastly entertaining Saturday Bowl game, which is what I'm calling it, the Saturday Bowl, with Pitt and SMU.
I'm guessing that's going to be played before the NFL games. I would doubt that they would go against them.
Yeah, I think it's like a noon
1 o'clock.
or 1 o'clock start. I don't know if Canada has a bowl anymore.
Because they were playing international bowl.
Yeah, they were playing a bowl in Toronto. Wait. West Virginia scored again. Go ahead.
They just had a field goal that time.
Tin Cup didn't want to punch it in for 6.
There are 4 BCS bowls and then the national championship, right?
Yes.
All right. Here's what you do. Put the Cotton Bowl on Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the BCS, and then Saturday at night, you do your national championship game. Week of college football of, in theory, good games.
I like play them all on January 1st.
We'll do that, but, you know.
We passed that point. I think the January 1st bowl games are now sitting next to Dr. Naismith with his peach basket somewhere.
And
they are dinosaurs. You probably watched more bowl games. Any other thoughts?
I would just say that I think, with the exception of last night's game, the Orange Bowl, that the other 3 BCS bowls have been really good. I think Wisconsin had a real chance and blew it against Oregon by spiking the ball with no time left.
Yeah, kind of got to go on that one. It was you don't know the story. You would look confused.
They had the ball with like
2 seconds.
They had it with 16 seconds left, I believe. Ran 2 plays over the middle.
No timeouts.
Got it to about the 35. Clock stops for first down. They had 2 seconds left, and they ran up, spiked it, no time left. So they should have tried to play real fast. That was, I think, their only chance.
Yeah.
And I think
any thoughts on Virginia? You might have watched a little bit.
I did watch a decent of that.
I watched most of that.
Like I said before, that's like they were not ready for a Chick-Fil-A Bowl. They were ready for a Music City Bowl, not a Chick-Fil-A Bowl. That was why I was pissed the fact that Tech did go, because that moved Virginia up.
Right.
Screw the fact that more prestigious. That's still a growing team. They weren't ready for that yet.
I think they're going to be good next year.
No, I think they are going to be good next year. But I think maybe having a shot at winning the Music City Bowl.
But if they had been in that bowl game like that NC State was in and played Louisville, I think that would have been a much...
Yeah. You're the football expert here in terms of college. Do you see Virginia? How good are they next year?
I think if London can keep the rah-rah,
right.
I think that they can do what they did this year.
From what I've seen of Doug Dowdy's top 25 or top 50 list, they've recruited the state a little bit better than the Hokies have this year, which I think is...
I've heard that 4 from Virginia has never panned out.
Yeah, but I mean, when I'm just saying, when you look at it, and Virginia's been getting their butts kicked by Tech in terms of recruiting the Commonwealth.
I think...
Special teams took a beating, though, and I love my boy AP. But I mean, you got to tell the rugby-style punter when you're in the end zone, just get the damn thing away. Yeah. Don't do your little rugby step.
Kick the damn ball.
He got, I posted on the Sports Buffet Podcast Facebook page, which you can all join. Yeah. After that happened, I put show of hands, who was surprised on that?
Yeah.
Here's something that maybe a team that has, early in the game and you have the balls to try, and you're right at the 1 yard line, take a pass. Punter, they're coming at you. There's going to be someone free. Hope you just throw it just enough over someone's head, and there's a tight end there and maybe catch it. Either way, you're probably going to get the sucker blocked anyway, it did. Just
the only thing I can ever kind of compare to that at all was the first Big 12 championship game. You remember this at all? Texas and Nebraska.
No.
It was 4th and 1, and Texas had the ball and they were going for it, and they were up 4, and it was on their own 30.
Yeah.
So they should have punted. And they did a rollout and completed the pass, and the guy got down to the Nebraska 20. Mm-hmm. And that pretty much, signed, sealed, delivered for Texas. But, I think Rocco is very good quarterback for UVA. I think it's going to work out.
They've just got to prevent the silly losses to the NC States or Southern.
Maybe the punt is not what I put about show of hands who saw that coming, but the onside.
The one that Auburn did?
Yeah.
When did they do that?
I think that was at the beginning of the second.
It was
half.
early. Yeah, Auburn had just scored,
quarter.
and I mean, to me, it screamed. It I think you always have to be cognizant, but again, if I can think of these things at home.
It was one of the ones where the kicker recovered his own kick.
If I can think of these things at home, someone else should know this at the game.
Yeah.
And not the person in row 8, seat 6, section 240. Somebody on the sidelines should know that.
And especially now where there's so many kicks that are being just touchbacks, you should almost always just prepare for the onside kicks because it's going to be out of bounds most of the time anyway. In the end zone.
The funny thing is when I went to the Brookville James Monroe State Championship game, James Monroe scored onside, scored again, then onside again, and got them both back. That's ballsy. That's a little.
Good. Well, you're not expected the second time.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Other bowl games that anything?
I haven't seen a lot. I watched Florida State and Notre Dame. And Florida State kind of threw that game away.
Right.
Yeah. They were up early and lost.
No, Notre Dame threw the game.
Excuse me. Yes. Notre Dame threw the game.
It's real interesting to see Florida and Ohio State in a bowl where
they're about 6 and 6.
And that's that's a problem I have too. There are too many bowls. I don't think
the other game that was very entertaining was that Georgia against Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yes. Triple overtime game.
Actually, would disagree with you.
Yeah. Georgia should have won that game.
I slept through the end of that one, but I think it's a situation where if you are going to go to a bowl game, you cannot go to a bowl game if a loss will put you under 500. Or you can't go to a bowl game. That goes back
to there are too many bowl
right,
games.
I know. Or you can't go to a bowl game if you're under 500 to start with. UCLA.
Yes.
Entered at 6 and 7, so it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
pish posh.
You would think that there's only 35 bowls. There's a boatload of teams.
Right.
How is that even possible? Yet it's
the bowl system needs to be reworked. I don't. This kid at Tech. What's the name again? Red Ginger.
Carroll.
Yeah, somebody called him Ginger. They offered him to ride a mechanical bull in New Orleans, but I think the bowl experience is good because some kids are not ever going to be treated that good in their life.
Plus the swag that they get.
Yeah, the goodie bag.
Which we still don't know how it's legal, but
the goodie bag is very good.
Yeah.
But I don't say take away the bowl experience for these kids, but let's revamp the system somehow.
Yeah. It's just like make the bowl special to be in because there's so many. It's like we're at the bowl. Just come back.
And or it's kind of like the whole sport thing. And I know it really wouldn't mean that much to the kids because they wouldn't be getting any of it. But these bowl games, the people know how much money they're taking home for their school/conference beforehand, right?
Yeah.
Let's do a winner-loser share. If you win, it's kind of like Plinko. We'll drop a chip. If you win, you get 5,000 or whatever.
Yeah, make like a prize fight.
150.
Yeah. You're guaranteed
and I don't think that would be
if you win, you get this.
I mean, even though we could get into a long discussion at some point in the future about college athletes being paid because they wouldn't get any of that, but hey, CBS doesn't have enough bowls, by the way. Vern only gets one time.
It's true. Yes, the worldwide leader of sports has a freaking monopoly on all this.
Excuse me?
The worldwide leader of sports has a monopoly.
Well, we'll get Vern a little bit more here in the NCAA tournament. That's all that counts.
I thought of a way to speed up overtimes.
I thought you were going to say you thought of a way to speed up all of our podcasts, but
no,
I'm here. I'm here for the long haul.
Found a way to slow them down.
And see, this is where at first I was thinking this is how the pros should do overtime.
Yes,
but this can work for college too. All right, first team gets the ball.
Take notes at home, people.
Yeah.
As West Virginia just scored again.
Kick off.
25 yards.
Okay. As soon as the first play starts, the clock starts. If you score in 3 minutes and 25 seconds, the other team has 3 minutes and 25 seconds to score.
So you want to go with the old WWE beat the clock?
I want to go to
the
beat the clock. think about it. What it does is that it makes the other team have to speed up their
Is
stuff.
the clock running the whole time?
I mean, if you go out of bounds, if you spike
incomplete pass.
Yeah, I mean regular play, regular plays, clock, and you get one timeout. But
better have a good no-huddle offense.
And you can score anyway. You don't have to get a touchdown.
No, I mean
equal with the other team.
Yes, but it has to be in the same amount of time.
So if Virginia and Auburn go to overtime, and Virginia comes down the field and kicks a field goal in the first 4:28,
yes,
Auburn's got 4:28 to score. They don't have to get a field goal; they can get a touchdown.
Yes,
but they can kick the field goal and we keep going.
Yes, but that ball has to be kicked, and for field goals, the ball has to be kicked before 4:28.
Right.
But don't you think a team?
That's where you keep your one time out.
A team would as soon as you're in field goal range, kick it right away.
Yes,
to make
absolutely
sure that the other team
you potentially shave maybe 30 minutes off coverage for no good reason.
What do you think? I kind of like it. He doesn't. I'm a free thinker.
I'm a traditionalist.
I kind of like it.
Just
now, the awesome thing is going to be if somebody returns the kick.
Yeah.
Then kick it on the ground.
Yeah. Exactly. But I mean that's just
gotta go 10 yards.
This sounds like a video game.
But wouldn't most people get into sports again if we could? It's kind of like the TV dinner. You don't want to waste 30 minutes making your, dinner, the meatloaf and the mashed potatoes and everything. Let's just warm it up in 2 minutes so you can have your Hungry Man. So you would basically come up with fast food football or drive-through football.
I've come up with fast food football.
That would have been perfect for the XFL. I mean, that screams McMahon.
It really does, actually. Yeah.
Well,
now if you don't score, I don't know what you do.
How long is this overtime? What?
In theory, it only goes one overtime.
15 minutes.
No, I mean you only it's you get the ball, score.
So the clock is not counting down from a number; it's counting up.
Okay.
Yes, it's counting up. So that first team, if they want to take
turn the hourglass.
Yeah, if that first team wants to take 15 minutes to score, that's fine. But
right.
you're guaranteeing the other team to score. You got to stop them. No. Yes.
Question.
Yes.
What if? Let's again go UVA Auburn just because they're two teams freshest in my mind.
And the whole thing is you can't punt. No punting. So you got to go.
Well, you'd be stupid to punt.
What exactly? Too.
But what if you get intercepted, or if you fumble and the other team gets the ball back?
Then they automatically win.
All right. Then the time that they've taken so far,
you have that much time to fumble.
You have that much time to score. I'm sorry. I know I need to clean this up a little bit, but I'm giving you the basics.
You got to clean that part out.
I'll come up with
something that came up with in the shower in 5 minutes. Isn't going to have everything.
Because I mean, let's say you start on your own 30, you throw a bomb down the field, and you get intercepted at your. But okay, Virginia starts at their own 30. They throw it down the field and Auburn intercepts it at the Auburn 30.
Okay.
That took 15 seconds.
Okay.
Auburn has 15 seconds to score from their own 30.
You're going to say you'll have.
I think you add a minute.
I think if you get a turnover, you have unlimited time to score.
Yeah, but then the other team has to get the ball back, don't they?
No.
Well, no, then you can't do that.
As long as you don't turn it over on downs.
Yeah.
I love how we are arguing over so much of a fictitious idea.
Yeah, no, actually I like that. No, if you throw an interception, the other team has, equal amount of time.
What do you mean equal amount of time?
It has.
You have the downs.
Yeah, you have unlimited time to score.
Well, God, that makes it boring in that situation.
Well,
you got to prevent them from scoring. I mean, the goal.
Then it becomes regular football.
Right.
Maybe.
Then it's not fast food. Then it's fondue.
Look, man, I'm just
a sit down dinner.
I gave you an idea to clean this up. I gave you basics. Just visit with us on.
I have an idea.
All right.
Let's put sharks on the field. Let's put some obstacles.
Like Mark Cuban.
In overtime, let's put some obstacles on the field. If you throw it through the tire.
Isn't it like a video game?
Yeah, so is your thing.
Get it through the clown's nose?
Yes, exactly. I mean, getting a little loopy here, so I think it's best to chew on this another time, folks. For Will Castle, Scott Wilson, think of that overtime system. People, West Virginia just scored again. We'll talk to you next time.